Chosen one, if you are seeing this message right now, pause for a moment and listen carefully. Not everyone was meant to find this video. In Islam, we believe that guidance comes from Allah alone, and sometimes He allows certain reminders to reach only the hearts that are ready for them. So if you feel a strange pull to these words, if something inside you feels calm yet curious, then this may not be a coincidence. Perhaps Allah placed this message in your path at the exact moment your soul needed it most. Because the truth is, chosen ones often walk a path that feels different from everyone around them. They experience tests that others cannot understand. They carry silence that others cannot hear, and they feel a connection with Allah that the world cannot explain. People may misunderstand you, question your journey, or even doubt your intentions, but what they fail to realize is that Allah often prepares His chosen servants in quiet and mysterious ways. And that is why this message is important. Not everyone will understand it, and not everyone is meant to. Some blessings, some realizations, and some spiritual awakenings are meant to stay between you and Allah. So, if you are watching this, take it as a moment to reflect deeply. Because today, we are about to uncover 7 powerful lessons that may explain why your journey feels different, why your struggles feel heavier, and why Allah may be preparing you for something far greater than you can see right now. Listen closely, chosen one, because this reminder may have been sent just for you. Chosen one of the most difficult truths you will eventually accept on this path is that not everyone around you is meant to understand your journey, and that is not a failure on your part. It is simply part of the wisdom of Allah. When Allah guides a heart toward a deeper purpose, the road often becomes different from the one most people walk. Your thoughts begin to change, your priorities begin to shift, and the things that once satisfied you no longer hold the same meaning. While others may be chasing recognition, comfort, or temporary success, your heart begins to seek something deeper: peace with Allah, sincerity in your intentions, and a life that carries meaning beyond what the world can see. But when this transformation begins, people around you may become confused. Some may question your decisions, others may misinterpret your silence, and a few may even criticize the way you live your life. They might say you have changed, that you are distant, or that you are too serious about things that they consider small. Yet what they fail to realize is that Allah often leads His servants through paths that cannot be understood by those who are not walking them. The Quran reminds us that guidance is a gift that Allah places in the hearts of whom He wills, and when a heart begins to awaken to that guidance, it naturally separates itself from what distracts it from the remembrance of Allah. This does not mean you believe you are better than others. Rather, it means you have become more aware of your responsibility before your Creator. The chosen ones often feel this quiet distance from the world, not because they hate people, but because their hearts have begun to align with something greater. They start valuing sincerity over attention, patience over instant gratification, and faith over approval from others. And when you begin to live this way, misunderstandings become almost inevitable. People may assume things about you that are not true, or they may project their own fears and doubts onto your journey. Yet the truth is that your path was never meant to be validated by the opinions of others. Allah, the one who created your soul and knows every hidden intention within your heart, is the only one who truly understands why you are being guided the way you are. Throughout Islamic history, even the greatest believers faced this reality. Many righteous individuals were misunderstood by their own communities simply because they chose to remain sincere and committed to their faith. Their patience in the face of misunderstanding became a source of strength, not weakness, and that same principle applies to you. If Allah is guiding your heart toward patience, humility, and closeness to Him, then the opinions of those who cannot see that transformation should not shake your confidence. Sometimes the journey of a chosen soul is quiet and lonely, not because Allah has abandoned them, but because He is teaching them to depend on Him alone. In those moments when you feel misunderstood, remember that your sincerity is not measured by how many people support you or approve of you. Your sincerity is measured by the intentions in your heart and the patience you show when no one else understands what you are going through. Allah sees every step you take, every sacrifice you make, and every moment you choose faith over frustration. So if people fail to understand your journey, do not let it discourage you. Not every path was meant to be crowded, and not every purpose was meant to be obvious to everyone. Some journeys are designed by Allah to be walked quietly, with trust, patience, and unwavering faith. And if you are on such a path, then know that being misunderstood by the world does not mean you are lost. It may simply mean that Allah is guiding you somewhere that only a few hearts are meant to reach. Chosen one of the deepest forms of wisdom you will learn on this journey is the power of silence, because not every blessing Allah is preparing for you should be spoken about openly. In a world where people feel the need to share every plan, every dream, and every achievement, Islam teaches a very different kind of strength, the strength of quiet protection. The truth is that when Allah begins preparing something special for your life, whether it is a new opportunity, a transformation of your heart, or a door that will change your future, the safest place for that blessing is often in silence between you and Allah. Many people will not understand this, but the reality of the world is that not every smile you see carries pure intentions. Some hearts carry jealousy, some carry doubt, and others simply cannot handle seeing someone else rise. This is why the wisdom passed down in Islamic teachings encourages believers to protect their plans with discretion and humility. It is not about hiding out of fear, it is about guarding what Allah is nurturing in your life until the time is right. Think about how Allah created nature itself. A seed does not grow into a tree overnight, and while it is still fragile beneath the soil, it remains hidden where no one can disturb it. Only after it becomes strong enough does it rise above the ground for everyone to see. In the same way, many of the blessings Allah prepares for His chosen servants begin in quiet seasons where very few people know what is truly happening. You may feel that Allah is guiding you towards something new, changing your mindset, strengthening your faith, or opening small doors that hint at a bigger future ahead. But during this time, silence becomes your protection. When you speak too soon about what Allah is doing in your life, you may unintentionally invite negativity, doubt, or unnecessary pressure from people who cannot see what Allah is building within you. Chosen ones learn that not every plan needs an audience, and not every blessing needs applause. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is quietly continue your efforts, make your prayers in private, and allow Allah to shape your path without the noise of outside opinions. There is also a spiritual beauty in keeping certain blessings between you and your Creator. When you protect your plans with silence, you strengthen your reliance on Allah rather than the approval of people. Your heart becomes focused on sincerity rather than recognition, and that sincerity becomes a source of barakah in everything you do. The chosen ones begin to realize that the world does not need to know every detail of their journey. The late nights of prayer, the moments of patience, and the small victories that Allah places in your life are treasures that sometimes belong only to you and Him. And when the right moment finally arrives, when Allah decides that what He has been preparing in your life is ready to be revealed, it will unfold naturally without you needing to announce it. People will simply witness the result and wonder how it happened so quietly. But you will know the truth that it was Allah who protected your path while you protected your silence. So, if you feel that Allah is working in your life in ways that others cannot see yet, do not rush to explain it to everyone. Keep your focus, guard your intentions, and trust that the blessings Allah is preparing will appear at the perfect time. Because sometimes the greatest protection for what Allah is building in your life is the quiet strength of silence. Chosen one of the most confusing yet powerful experiences on this path is the feeling that you are somehow different from the people around you, as if your heart is no longer comfortable with the things that once felt normal. There may have been a time when you followed the same patterns as everyone else, chasing what the world told you was important status, approval, attention, or temporary pleasures. But slowly something began to shift inside you. The conversations that once excited you started to feel empty. The environments that once felt normal started to drain your energy, and the goals that once seemed meaningful began to lose their value. At first, this change can feel unsettling because it creates a quiet distance between you and the world around you. Friends may not understand why you no longer enjoy certain things. People may think you have become too serious or too withdrawn, and some might even assume that you believe you are better than them. But the truth is much deeper than that. What you are experiencing may actually be a form of spiritual awakening that Allah places in the hearts of those He is guiding closer to Him. In Islam, the heart is not just an emotional center, it is the place where faith lives and grows. When Allah begins to awaken a heart, that heart naturally becomes more sensitive to what pleases Him and what distances a person from Him. Suddenly, your priorities begin to change. You start valuing peace over popularity, sincerity over attention, and a quiet connection with Allah over the loud distractions of the world. This transformation does not happen overnight, and it often comes with moments of loneliness, because you begin to realize that the path of faith is not always crowded. Many people prefer what is easy, what is entertaining, and what requires the least effort from their souls. But when Allah begins to guide someone toward deeper awareness, their heart can no longer feel comfortable living the same way as before. The chosen ones often go through this stage where they feel like strangers in places that once felt familiar. Yet this feeling is not a punishment, it is a sign that your heart is becoming more awake. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, described Islam as something that began as something strange and would return to being strange again, and he gave glad tidings to the strangers who remain firm in their faith. Those strangers are the ones whose hearts stay connected to Allah even when the world around them moves in a different direction. If you have been feeling this quiet separation from certain environments or habits, do not see it as something negative. It may simply mean that your soul is evolving into a place where it cannot settle for what once distracted it. Allah may be teaching you to seek deeper meaning, stronger faith, and a life that reflects sincerity rather than imitation. The chosen ones eventually realize that feeling different is not a curse, it is a sign of direction. It means your heart is beginning to recognize what truly matters. And even though the path of spiritual awakening can feel lonely at times, it carries a peace that the world cannot give. When your heart begins to align with the remembrance of Allah, you start to see life differently. The noise of the world becomes less powerful. The opinions of people lose their weight, and your focus turns towards something far greater than temporary recognition. So if you feel different, if you feel like your soul is no longer satisfied with the same distractions that surround you, do not be afraid of that change. It may be the very sign that Allah is awakening your heart and guiding you toward a life that is deeper, purer, and closer to Him than you ever imagined. Chosen one of the most important truths you must understand on this journey is that the trials you face are not random, and they are not meaningless. In Islam, hardships are often the very tools Allah uses to prepare His servants for something greater than they can currently see. When life becomes heavy and the road ahead feels uncertain, many people assume that something has gone wrong, but the reality is often the opposite. Allah tests those He loves in order to strengthen their faith, refine their character, and elevate their rank. Think about the stories of the prophets. Each one of them faced immense trials before their purpose was fully revealed. Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, was tested with separation and sacrifice. Prophet Yusuf, peace be upon him, endured betrayal, false accusations, and years of imprisonment. Prophet Musa, peace be upon him, was forced to leave his home and confront a powerful tyrant. And our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, faced rejection, hardship, and loss throughout his mission. Yet through every trial, Allah was preparing them for something far greater than the pain they were experiencing at the time. The same principle often applies to the lives of those whom Allah is shaping for a meaningful path. Trials are like a spiritual training ground where patience is strengthened, humility is developed, and reliance on Allah becomes deeper than ever before. When everything in life is easy, the heart rarely grows. Comfort can make a person forget their dependence on Allah, but hardship brings the soul back to its Creator. It forces you to make sincere prayers, to seek guidance with sincerity, and to reflect on what truly matters. Many chosen ones experience seasons where they feel misunderstood, delayed, or surrounded by challenges that seem unfair. You may wonder why certain doors closed in your life, why certain relationships ended, or why certain plans did not unfold the way you expected. But what you cannot see in those moments is that Allah may be redirecting you towards something better, something that aligns with the purpose He has written for your life. Sometimes the very things you thought were losses were actually protection. Sometimes the delays that frustrated you were actually preparation. Allah sees the entire picture while we only see a small part of the story. That is why patience in times of difficulty carries such a powerful reward in Islam. Every moment you choose faith instead of despair, every prayer you whisper in the middle of hardship, and every step you take while trusting Allah is recorded with Him. Trials do not mean that Allah has forgotten you. They often mean that He is shaping you into someone stronger than you used to be. Just like a diamond is formed under pressure, the strength of a believer is often formed through tests that challenge their patience and sincerity. The chosen ones eventually realized that the hardships they faced were not barriers, but lessons that prepared them for the responsibilities ahead. When you look back on your life one day, you may see that the moments you once feared were actually the moments that changed you the most. They made you more patient, more compassionate, and more aware of your dependence on Allah. So, If you are going through a difficult season right now, do not assume that your story is falling apart. It may simply be that Allah is preparing you for a chapter that requires a stronger, wiser, and more faithful version of you. Trust that every trial carries wisdom, even when you cannot see it yet. Because the one who created your soul knows exactly what it takes to prepare you for the future. He has already written for you. Chosen one of the most comforting truths in Islam, is that nothing you endure with patience is ever lost in the sight of Allah. In a world where people often measure value by recognition, applause, or visible success, it can sometimes feel as if the quiet struggles you carry are invisible. There are moments when you try your best, remain patient through hardship, stay silent when you could easily react, and continue doing what is right even when no one appreciates it. In those moments, it may feel like your efforts are unnoticed, as if the sacrifices you make and the patience you show disappear into silence. But the reality is far more powerful than that, because Allah sees every hidden effort that the world overlooks. Every tear you wipe away when no one else is watching, every prayer you whisper late at night when your heart feels heavy, every moment you choose patience instead of anger, and every time you continue trusting Allah despite your confusion, none of it escapes His knowledge. The Quran repeatedly reminds believers that Allah is fully aware of what lies within the hearts and of every action, no matter how small it may seem. When you remain patient during difficult seasons, you are not simply enduring pain, you are demonstrating a level of faith that Allah values deeply. Patience in Islam is not passive weakness, it is an active form of strength. It is the ability to remain firm in your faith when life becomes uncertain, to maintain good character when others treat you unfairly, and to keep trusting Allah's wisdom even when the outcome of your situation is unclear. The chosen ones often carry a special kind of patience because their journey includes moments where they must rely entirely on their connection with Allah rather than the support or validation of people. There may be times when others misunderstand you, when opportunities are delayed, or when you feel like you are giving your best while receiving very little in return. Yet every moment of restraint, every moment you refuse to let bitterness take over your heart, is being recorded by the one who never forgets anything. Imagine the incredible mercy in that reality. While people may overlook your patience, Allah is writing it down as part of your story. On the Day of Judgment, the smallest acts of sincerity will carry weight far beyond what we can imagine. The patience you showed when someone hurt you, the kindness you maintained when others were harsh, and the faith you held onto when life felt uncertain will all be part of the reward Allah has prepared for you. The chosen ones begin to realize that the real audience of their life is not the world, but their Creator. When this realization settles in your heart, it changes the way you respond to challenges. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you begin to think, "How can I respond in a way that pleases Allah?" That shift in perspective transforms patience from something painful into something meaningful. You understand that your struggles are not empty. They are opportunities to demonstrate faith, humility, and trust in Allah's plan. There is also a deep spiritual beauty in knowing that Allah notices the quiet efforts that others cannot see. Perhaps you have been trying to improve your character, trying to become more patient, more forgiving, and more sincere in your actions. Maybe you have been resisting temptations, controlling your anger, or staying committed to your faith even when it feels difficult. These are the moments where your patience becomes a form of worship. The chosen ones know that growth does not always happen in dramatic ways. Sometimes it happens quietly within the heart as you continue choosing faith over frustration again and again. Over time, that patience builds a kind of inner strength that no worldly hardship can easily shake. When you trust that Allah is aware of your efforts, it becomes easier to remain calm during storms that would normally break a person's spirit. You realize that even if the world never acknowledges your struggles, Allah's recognition is more valuable than any praise from people. And when the time comes for your reward, it will arrive in ways that no human could have predicted. Sometimes Allah rewards patience with peace in the heart, sometimes with unexpected opportunities, and sometimes with blessings that appear long after the hardship has passed. But no matter how the reward appears, one thing remains certain: Allah never wastes the patience of a sincere believer. So, if you feel like your struggles have been long, if you feel like you have been quietly enduring more than most people realize, remind yourself of this powerful truth: your patience is being recorded by Allah. Every moment you remain faithful, every moment you choose hope over despair, and every moment you continue trusting Allah despite the uncertainty is building something far greater than what you can currently see. The chosen ones eventually understand that patience is not simply about surviving hardship. It is about growing through it while keeping your heart connected to the one who sees everything. And when Allah finally opens the doors that your patience helped prepare, you will realize that none of those difficult moments were wasted, because every second of patience was part of the reward that Allah had already written for you. Chosen one of the most profound realities you must come to understand on this journey is that Allah often works in silence, quietly arranging your life in ways that the world cannot see, and in ways your own heart may not fully understand at first. The quiet moments you experience, the delays, the periods of waiting, the seasons when doors remain closed despite your prayers, are not signs that Allah has forgotten you or abandoned you. On the contrary, these silent periods are often the most crucial part of your preparation, the times when Allah is shaping your character, refining your heart, and orchestrating circumstances that will eventually lead to a breakthrough far greater than you imagined. Many chosen ones feel restless during these times, feeling as if the world is moving on without them, feeling pressure from others who cannot understand the stillness of their journey. You may ask yourself, why am I waiting? Why do I feel stuck while others seem to be moving forward? And yet, this silence is precisely what Allah uses to teach you patience, trust, and reliance upon Him alone. In the natural world, we see countless examples of growth happening quietly beneath the surface before it becomes visible to everyone. A seed does not sprout overnight. It takes time beneath the soil, unseen and unnoticed, before it finally breaks through and grows into a strong, flourishing tree. Likewise, your growth, your spiritual development, and the blessings Allah is preparing for you often begin in unseen ways. While the world may measure success by what is visible, Allah measures success by what is hidden: the intentions in your heart, the strength of your faith in moments of difficulty, and the sincerity of your patience while the outcome is unclear. Chosen ones are often those who endure long seasons of silence because their purpose requires preparation that cannot be rushed. Every lesson you learn during these quiet periods is a brick being laid in the foundation of your future, and every trial you face quietly is part of the sculpting of your soul. During these moments, you may notice that others do not understand you, that they question your choices, and that they fail to see the growth happening within you. You might even feel isolated or disconnected because your path differs from the paths of those around you. This is not a flaw. It is a sign that Allah is placing you in the right position to receive what is meant for you without interference. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was sent into a world that often misunderstood him, and he endured years of patience, hardship, and silence before the mission he carried fully manifested. Similarly, your life may require periods of quiet endurance, where the preparation is more important than immediate recognition, and the unseen work matters more than what the world perceives. Allah often uses these periods of silence to remove distractions, to align your circumstances with His plan, and to ensure that when your breakthrough comes, it is lasting and unshakable. You may have prayed for doors to open quickly, for results to appear instantly, and for your life to feel settled without delay. But Allah knows the precise timing for your breakthrough, and that timing is based on what you need to become to handle the blessings, responsibilities, and purpose that await you. Sometimes, the waiting period is meant to teach humility, to remind you that reliance on Allah is stronger than reliance on anyone else, and to deepen the sincerity of your faith. The chosen ones learn that these quiet periods are not empty. They are filled with unseen preparation. Every prayer whispered in solitude, every act of patience, and every moment of trust in Allah is part of a meticulous process that leads to a life aligned with divine wisdom. During these times, it is essential to guard your heart against doubt, to continue seeking Allah with sincerity, and to remember that the silence is part of the plan, not a punishment. Allah's work behind the scenes may involve arranging people, removing obstacles, and opening doors in ways that will not become clear until the moment of manifestation. What may seem like stagnation is often the precursor to exponential growth. What seems like a delay may be the moment Allah is perfecting your path, and what feels like emptiness may actually be the fullness of preparation that will become visible in the most unexpected and powerful way. The chosen ones understand that the breakthrough cannot arrive prematurely because the blessing carries responsibilities, wisdom, and lessons that must first be embedded in the heart. Every silent struggle, every quiet moment of endurance, and every period of unseen effort is being noticed and preserved by Allah, even if no one else sees it. When the moment finally comes, the breakthrough will not only reflect the work that Allah has been doing in your life, but will also reveal how far you have grown spiritually, emotionally, and mentally during the quiet season. And this is why patience, reliance on Allah, and trust in His timing are essential. The chosen ones do not despair during silence. They embrace it, knowing that the one who controls the universe is orchestrating every detail for their highest good. So if you find yourself in a season where nothing seems to be happening, where your prayers feel unanswered, and where doors remain closed, take heart. Your silence is not wasted, your patience is not unnoticed, and your faith is not in vain. Allah is working in ways beyond human perception, preparing a breakthrough that will change everything, and when it arrives, it will surpass anything you could have imagined. The chosen ones emerge from these quiet seasons stronger, wiser, and more connected to Allah than ever before, equipped to handle the blessings, responsibilities, and missions that Allah has prepared for them. So remain steadfast, chosen one. Keep your heart focused on Allah, guard your intentions, and continue your journey with faith. The breakthrough you seek is coming, and it will arrive at the exact moment Allah has determined, perfectly timed for your life, your purpose, and your destiny. Every silent moment is a step closer to that moment, and every quiet prayer is a building block for the life Allah has written for you. Do not despair in silence. Embrace it, trust it, and know that Allah is working in ways that are invisible to the eye, but felt deeply by the soul, because the greatest blessings often come quietly, after the longest and most patient preparation. Chosen one of the most profound and humbling realities you will come to understand on this journey is that not every message, not every reminder, and not every piece of guidance is meant for everyone to hear, and the reason for this is far deeper than human understanding. Some messages are sent only to specific hearts, hearts that Allah has prepared to receive them, hearts that are ready to act upon them, and hearts that will preserve their meaning with sincerity and patience. You may have experienced moments where a word, a verse, or even a feeling seemed to resonate with your soul in ways that no one else around you could comprehend, and that is not a coincidence. It is a sign from Allah that your heart is among those chosen to hear and understand that guidance. The Quran reminds us repeatedly that Allah guides whom He wills, and that guidance is a gift that carries responsibility. Just as a lamp illuminates only the space it is placed in, some messages illuminate only the hearts that are ready to carry their light. Those who are unprepared may hear the same words and remain unaffected, may fail to see the depth of their meaning, or may even distort their understanding through distraction, envy, or superficial perception. This is why the hearts of the chosen ones are often quiet and contemplative, because they understand that guidance is not a show, and that the value of a message is not in how many people witness it, but in how deeply it transforms the recipient. When a message reaches you, chosen one, it is not meant to feed your pride, your ego, or your desire to impress others. It is meant to reach your soul in its most sincere state, to awaken a consciousness within you that aligns your heart, mind, and actions with the will of Allah. You may notice that some reminders arrive in ways that feel intensely personal. A verse that captures exactly what you have been struggling with, a story that mirrors your own challenges, or a feeling that seems to penetrate your heart and stir a deep understanding that is difficult to put into words. These moments are not accidents, they are divine precision. Allah knows your heart, your capacity, and your readiness in ways that no human being can, and He sends guidance according to that understanding. The chosen ones learn to recognize these moments and to protect them, to treat them with respect, humility, and reflection, because they understand that such guidance is sacred. It is not meant for debate, argument, or public display. It is meant to cultivate patience, sincerity, and alignment with the divine plan. When you receive a message of this kind, it may challenge you. It may bring clarity about things you had been confused about for years. It may reveal a responsibility you never imagined you would carry. It may illuminate a path that requires sacrifice, focus, and the courage to follow, even when others do not understand. The chosen ones do not rush to share these messages with the crowd, because they know that not everyone is ready to grasp their significance, and sometimes sharing too soon can dilute the blessing, invite misunderstanding, or even provoke envy from those whose hearts are not prepared. Allah teaches the hearts that are ready how to protect their guidance, how to act upon it with humility, and how to hold it close until the time is right for its manifestation. This is why some of the most powerful lessons, the most life-changing reminders, and the most transformative signs often reach only a few hearts, while others hear them and feel nothing. It is not favoritism in the worldly sense. It is precision, wisdom, and divine timing. Your heart has been chosen to receive it because Allah knows that you can carry it, that you can act upon it, and that you will honor it with patience, prayer, and sincerity. Chosen ones understand that the world will not always notice, the people around them will not always understand, and the validation of others is irrelevant. What matters is how you respond, how you internalize the guidance, and how you allow it to transform your intentions, your actions, and your connection with Allah. Sometimes the quiet messages arrive in subtle ways: a moment of clarity in prayer, a feeling of peace after hardship, or an insight that comes when your heart is still and attentive. Other times, the guidance may arrive through the words of others, a book, a lecture, or even a seemingly small sign in your daily life. Regardless of the form, the message is meaningful only to the heart prepared to receive it, and the chosen ones learn to treasure these moments because they recognize the immense responsibility that comes with them. Acting on guidance requires courage, patience, and unwavering faith. It often asks the chosen ones to step away from the opinions of others, to choose sincerity over popularity, and to prioritize the will of Allah over the fleeting judgments of people who cannot perceive the significance of the path they are walking. The challenge is not just in understanding the message, but in embodying it, in living it through patience, humility, and dedication, even when no one else witnesses your journey or understands your purpose. And yet, this is precisely the blessing, the quiet work of the heart, the unseen effort, the intimate alignment with Allah's will. All of it forms a spiritual treasure that is recorded and cherished by Allah, even when the world is blind to it. Chosen ones understand that receiving such messages is both an honor and a responsibility. It is an honor because Allah has trusted your heart with insight, guidance, and preparation that He has not given to everyone. It is a responsibility because the message requires action, patience, and faith. It requires that you guard your heart against distraction, envy, and pride, and that you allow the guidance to shape your character, intentions, and deeds. These messages may be subtle, but their impact is profound. They awaken insight, deepen faith, and prepare you to face life with a heart aligned with divine wisdom. So, chosen one, when a message touches your heart in a way that feels personal, sacred, and transformative, do not take it lightly. Reflect deeply, act sincerely, and hold it close. Understand that not everyone is ready to receive it, and that is why Allah sent it specifically to your heart at this moment in time. This is a reminder that your journey is unique, your heart is chosen, and the guidance you receive is a divine gift meant to transform you quietly, profoundly, and irrevocably. Cherish it, honor it, and let it guide every step you take in life, because some messages are never meant for the crowd. They are meant for the hearts that are ready, and your heart has been chosen to hear, to understand, and to act upon what Allah has sent only for you. Chosen one, as we come to the end of these 7 powerful lessons, take a moment to let their weight sink into your heart. Remember, not everyone is meant to understand your journey, and that is okay, because your path is unique, guided by Allah, and prepared with wisdom beyond what the world can see. The silence you endure is not empty. It is the shield protecting the blessings that Allah is preparing for you. The feelings of being different are not a curse. They are a sign that your heart is awakening, that you are stepping into a higher level of spiritual awareness that many will never comprehend. The trials you face are not setbacks. They are the very tools Allah is using to strengthen, purify, and prepare you for your ultimate purpose. Every act of patience, every whispered prayer, and every moment you remain steadfast is being recorded by Allah, and nothing in your heart or your struggle is unseen. The quiet work that Allah does in your life before the breakthrough is the proof of His perfect timing and His unmatched wisdom. And finally, the messages that reach your heart, those whispers, signs, and reminders are not meant for everyone. They were sent specifically to you because your heart is ready to receive, understand, and act upon them. Chosen one, this is your reminder. You are being shaped, protected, and prepared for a destiny that the world cannot yet perceive. Guard your heart, trust in Allah's timing, and continue walking with sincerity, patience, and faith. Keep your journey private when needed, embrace your uniqueness, and know that every silent effort, every challenge, and every blessing is part of the path that Allah has designed exclusively for you. So carry these lessons in your heart, let them guide your steps, and remember your life is a sacred journey, and Allah is with you every step of the way, even when the world cannot see it. Keep walking, chosen one, because what Allah has planned for you is greater than anything you can imagine, and the best is yet to come.